And now we go along to new look, and the lift there is a nice Schindler MRL. And it's quite typical of new look to have a nice MRL, despite the fact they're quite a cheap shop. They always have an MRL by a proper company, not a shit generic. But even though this is a Schindler MRL by a major lift company, it still gets the floor numbering wrong. And now we go into next. Seriously, can I even be bothered to go into next and see what a lift is? We all know it's going to be a stupid Oakland. And yeah, just as I thought, although it does get the floor numbering correct. Well, that's actually because next does go down to the ground floor, which is probably why if they didn't have the floor numbering probably would not be correct. And now go along to the lifts to the entrance via the White City Underground station to the old BBC buildings, which are now no longer BBC. The lifts here are some nice eco discs. And now we go along into Burton's, and the lift in there is another Stanner. And once again it gets the floor numbering. Why does Stanner always have to call it ground and 1 when there's 2 floors? Because the floors here are 1 and 2. This is drop on the upper level, which is floor 1 with an additional floor above, so that's floor 2. Stupid Stanner cannot get their heads around the fact that just because there's 2 floors, it doesn't have to mean the floors are called ground and 1. And now go into Pull and Bear, and the lift there is another generic. And it calls it ground and 1 again.
Doors open.
And now we go into American Eagle Outfitters, and the lift there is, seriously, are you kidding me? A stupid platform lift. So now go along into River Island, and the lift there is a stupid cheap generic. And it also gets the floor numbering wrong. And now we go along to some more of the main lifts in Westfields, which are again some nice eco discs.
Floor -1.
And now go along to the next lift, which is in Adidas, and it is a generic lift and it's not working. I've got no idea whether it gets the floor numbering right or not, but I'm guessing it doesn't. And now we go along to the lifts that go up to the cinema. These are some really nice third generation eco discs. These go from ground floor shopping, floor 1 shopping, floor 2 which is some extra restaurants up there, and floor 3 which is the cinema right at the top of the centre. And now we go along some more nice third generation eco discs. These ones go from party levels -3, -2, -1, shopping levels ground and 1, and up to management offices on level 2. And now go along into night, and the lift there is a Gen 2. And despite the fact it's by Otis, it also gets the floor numbering wrong. And now I go into H&M, and the lift there is a nice eco disc. And now go into Boots, and the lift there is not working, but luckily it's just a stupid generic. And now go along into Marks and Spencer's. And what is it about Marks and Spencer's and crap lifts? They always have complete rubbish lifts like this awful generic UK lift, and it wasn't working. And now we go along to the main lifts and Marks and Spencer's, which are some Otis Gen 2s with Dewhurst buttons. Typical Marks and Spencer's. They have something that could be nice and they make it just dull.
Ground floor. Doors open.
It's Travelator fun time!
Please hold the handrail whilst travelling.
And now we go along some more of the main lifts in Westfield, some more really nice third generation eco discs.
Floor clearance. Doors.
And now go along to Urban Outfitters. And the lift in there is just a stunner. And now go along back into the posh part of Westfields and down to -1. And if you remember back in House of Fraser, the lift goes non-stop from -3 part way up to the ground floor. That's because -1 and -2 is taken up by Waitrose. And the really weird thing about Waitrose is they have this completely crap lift, which is extremely slow. One of the slowest lifts I've ever seen. It's pretty much a platform lift just with a lift built on top of it. It wasn't actually working this time. You see my previous lifts on here. This lift is incredibly slow. It goes like half the speed of leveling speed on most lifts. And despite the fact it's going this slow, when it approaches the floor, it still seems to need to level. I actually like this lift for the sheer reason it actually takes crap to a whole new level. And now, let's go looking around Westfields, and there are loads of doors all around Westfields going into the service passages. There's loads of these doors, they all seem to be very securely shut. It took me a long time going around looking at loads and loads of doors into these service areas, and I thought there just must be one set of doors in this whole place that are not locked properly. Because there's so many doors into the service areas here. This takes one to not be locked to get in there. And after a lot of searching, I found that very one. And into the service area I go.